Let's suppose you were going to retire from filmmaking and you would never make another movie again. You'd have 1 month to plan it out, this retirement, this exit from filmmaking. How would you spend that last month? What would you be doing? It would be your last month to ever think about making a movie.
I mean, it's simply just the obvious answer, but I would probably I would want to shoot the film that we're planning right now. I mean, it's because it's in my mind right now that we're doing for this next film, for this next anthology film, because it's written and it's in pre-production right now. So we might be able to do it in a month. And if I didn't make that, I'd probably go out to the desert and make some kind of improv road movie of some kind, because that's something I really love, and I love that environment. I love those type of films, and I just probably grab some actors, some people who seem cool, and just go out there and do like a Rain People or Two Lane Blacktop type film, just driving around the Salton Sea or something like that, and just, just make that my big finale, That's the first thing that comes to me.
So you wouldn't overthink it because you wouldn't have time.
I wouldn't want to overthink it. I've had so many films where I had like almost no prep or crazy prep, and I just went and did it, and things were happening all around me, and I'm like reacting to all these circumstances. So I'm not afraid to do that. In fact, the thing I like about the films we've done lately is that there is an aspect of playfulness about them where you don't overthink too much and you feel like you're going back to your roots. So I'm still in that mode. I'm glad to be in that mode because I was in another kind of mode for a while, and it's fun to just sort of be more in a mode where you feel like there's no safety net and you're just, making something you're passionate about, and you're not that worried about what people are going to think about it, whether they like it or don't like it, or it's going to sell to this territory or that territory, and you're just out there doing it. So I'd have no problem doing that. I would spend the whole month shooting that movie. We have the longest schedule I ever had.
You just grabbed like a couple actors, a car.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did. Like when we did this short called The Scout for High 8, I always just wanted to shoot. It was based on location. I thought location was first. A lot of times location is very, very important in a movie for me. Movies I like and the movies I make. And I'm like, that it's going to be in the desert. It's going to be two people, a guy and a girl, and we'll figure out what the story's going to be. It's going to end badly, and that's it, and we figured out the script. So I have no problem doing something like that. I've always been inspired by The Rain People, that Coppola film, where he took James Caan and Duvall and Shirley Knight out on the road, and they just literally traveled with them through the United States, through a bunch of different states, and they had some kind of a script, but they responded to things that were going on in the environments, the different towns they went through, and that found its way into the film. I've always thought that was such a cool model to make a movie on, and it's, so I would love to do something like that.
Plus, you coming to LA was its own road trip.
Yeah, it was, and I wrote a treatment for back then, right when I first moved out here, I actually wrote a treatment for a youth-oriented kids coming to LA to make it a movie called The Open Road. And, I messed around with that for a while. I never wrote the screenplay, but I did have it. I still have the treatment for it. I don't know if I'd want to make that or make something different, but I've always wanted to do those type of things. Before I got involved in the whole horror scene, the scripts I was writing were not horror movies. They, might have had weird or dark elements, but they weren't horror films. So
I'd like to see that movie.
It might happen. Stranger things have happened,
A lot of people have had the moving to LA in their car. And
yeah, that's what it was. It's like a group of friends, and based on people I knew, other transplants I knew when I first moved here. They were also from Virginia, but they didn't come here with me. It was weird. I would start meeting people who were from Virginia. Some of them had been out here for a little while. Some of them had been here or just got here on the same time I did. And a few of them were even from Virginia Beach. And so, like, I had a DP I worked with for years who was from Virginia, and these actors, and they're all the people I worked with in my early films, like in my first 3 or 4 movies, So I based the characters and the treatment on them back then.
And does it have a happy ending? that first.
God,
road
I'm
movie?
trying to remember how that I don't remember how that treatment ends, but probably not, knowing me. Probably everybody dies in a hail of gunfire or something.
While going to like an audition or something?
I think they separate. I think they all kind of go their separate paths, which frankly is how it goes in real life, to be honest. I mean, that's actually realistically how life is. So without knowing that, really, I was writing about something I didn't really know a lot about, but it did that is kind of how it goes.
Do they still keep in touch?
Not really. Some people are just like, I kind of know about them, but I don't really talk to them anymore. And some, I don't know what happened to them. Like they might as well fall off the face of the earth. Like no digital footprint, no nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, and things like that happen, and it's not like you. Of course, the normal response is to think maybe did I say something? Did it something I did? No, it's not. Everybody's got their own inner thing going on that you don't even know about, no matter how well you know them. And this business can do strange things to people's minds sometimes. So you have to contend with that and sort of make peace with that, as you continue.
I still want to see the movie now. I hope you make it.
Makes you want to dig up the script. I've probably got it somewhere. I think I might have typed it up. I used to handwrite everything. I didn't start typing my scripts up until I didn't even use Final Draft until like movie number 5 or 6. I used to even type them literally and move, I don't think anyone wants to hear this, but I used to, really bump the cursor. I mean, it was ridiculous in Word, but I used to handwrite everything for a long time, for years and years. Everything had to be handwritten first, then typed up. But I don't do that. I know there's some writers that do that. I think Tarantino does that. I think I read. He still does that.
Okay.
I think it's cool when people do that. I just personally don't have the luxury. I can't. Yeah, my hand starts to cramp up.
Yeah.
My hand starts to cramp up after a while, and
Writing was bad anyway, but nowadays it's even worse.
yeah. But I did used to handwrite my first 2 features I know, or first 3 or 4 really, 5 maybe. They were all handwritten then typed up. And then some guy I was working for, he hired me to write a script for a movie that didn't get produced. But anyway, I wrote the script, and he had Final Draft. Like he got me Final Draft as part of the deal because he had a line on software. So I was like, great, So then after that, it was Final Draft. Not that I think that's that interesting, but it was a transition for me at that time to, kind of, and I've never looked back, I never handwritten a script ever again.
Wow.
But that Open Road one might be, the Open Road was, I did a video feature with my friends in high school that's 2.5 hours long, and that's a road movie, a post-apocalyptic road movie. So that title is in my mind for a long time, but I'm not going to get into that. You don't have any more memory cards. It's hot in here. Everybody wants to go home.